we are ready to get started. Yeah, probably could use some noise, right? Just a little bit of noise. Let's see, where'd I hide that at? Yeah, there you are. Let's see. How are we doing, everybody? Doing a little grease pencil tonight. So that's in 3D space. I'll push forward on this, see how far we can take it. And go from there. I'll do some light animation on it. And so let's get up my reference as well. While I'm thinking about it, be nice to have a little reference to refer to. There we go. I was like putting it in the framed view, it's easier to see. Alright, I wanted to work on those steps a little bit. Hopefully get a little atmosphere going in here. But I just wanted to touch up these stairs. First, let's jump to the line layer. And grab the right material, which I think is you. Nope, not that. Active layer. So looks like it's visible to me. Oh, it's locked. There we go. Yeah, there are some extra kind of complications with this program. See, how's that look here? Yeah, I guess I should add in more of these fellows here. Our new eraser is kind of interesting too. Looks like I want to pull these back anyway. So erase again. And let's see how that looks there. Yeah, I think that will do. So yeah. So kind of wanted to get into grease pencil more as it is, so I thought I would take the opportunity to do so. See how that middle ground looks there. That's better. Alright. More tea. Good evening. So we got that layer. Not so I haven't finished drawing these bricks in, huh? Good evening. That's right, where's the other chat thing? There we go. Block. So let's move that over there, and this over here, and that should work better. Alright. clean up some of this stuff. So let's go ahead and scrap you. No, wrong layer. Clean that up and clean up shadows. So that way when we put these back in here, it'll work better, right? Because that's the idea. Alright, so make sure we're on the color layer, it's unlocked, and we're back in. Come in with our warm green. Put this in here. Good evening. Good evening. That answers that question. Wonder where the dog is. He's been avoiding me all day. I think he's a little mad about the whole back to school thing. Get that way once in a while, you know? So, yeah, it's not fair, right? Going back to work. He doesn't realize, you know, most people are gone all week, and I'm just gone a couple days a week. Which isn't bad at all. Yeah, relatively speaking. Not that I demand his gratitude, but you know, it's hard to explain to him anyway, so general problem overall. Alright, that feels pretty good. What is this ob right there, though? Where's that coming from? There it is. There it goes. Oops. And poof. How about you? Alright, you're too big. Your britches, I have to clean that up. So let's grab, I think it's dark gray flats. It's much better. Good evening, everybody popping in. How are we doing tonight? What is today? Monday? Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. Hope it's not Monday because I should be in class, right? Let's put this foreground, middle ground, background in here. And then let's turn on our. I guess it only works in. There it goes. Now it's working. Thought maybe it only works in cycles, but I guess it works okay over here too, so that's good. That has a nice effect. I found a compositor thing that I can use in Blender that makes it really easy for me because as a non-professional 3D user, you know, it's a bit of a challenge if I have to do anything too technical in here. Is that painting black? Why is it painting black? What layer are we on? Shadows. Let's just see what happens when we go to colors. See, it's working there. I guess it's okay. Just felt like it was off a little bit. Found have a way of kind of creating these soft edges while filling in most of it with the hard edges. Come back here, you. Especially if I'm trying to deal with these larger shapes on here for forms. See, I keep hitting my Photoshop shortcut for changing brush size, but in here it's a totally different one. And you want to keep it different too. Get rid of that rough. Put that guy in later. should do is pop out another layer of this shadow stuff. I call this one the ambient shadows. Make sure that's in multiply. And knock that back a bit. There we go. Good evening. Of course, question is always, how much this is actually going to be seen. It's a little bit hard to say because I want to have a little bit of motion on this. Might even stick a little 3D thing to float around in the air or something like that too. So. So I do want to make sure a certain amount is visible. So let's go ahead and go back to midground 1, and we got, let's write it to object, then draw, there we go. So shadow, and this will be ambient shadow. I appreciate that. All right. This is actually 3D, so thinking around in here. So yeah, hopefully it'll turn out good. Don't forget to save, right? This is Blender. So Blender has a tool in it called Grease Pencil, and it's basically a vector drawing application. I was playing around with the Mental Canvas again. You can do cool stuff with it, but I always feel like I'm kind of limited by it. And a lot of the stuff you can do in there. Hey Bosch, welcome back. That reminds me, I should check. Dog just came upstairs, so I'll see if my package. So okay, just checking, buddy. Maybe if you got up, maybe it was out there. Come to tell me. Just checking in with my dog. He just came upstairs after lounging around downstairs for a long time. I think he's asking for his evening yummy, but it is not time for that because we're doing this right now. So we will deal with that later. Right? Right, Bosch? Why don't you come lay down? He's doing the I am sad, I will hang my head by you and make you feel sad too. So, in spite of the number of beds in this room and his blankets and everything else. Poor tragic creature. Now, if you want the full screen experience, head over to YouTube or Twitch. And definitely get a bigger view of the whole screen here. Yeah, it's definitely Blender. It's in 3D. So the idea, maybe once I get going, I can set the camera so I can move around and zoom in and out a little bit, and maybe focus and unfocus. Get a little bit of atmosphere in here as well. I think we do a little test with that now. So tab, object. I think that's from. What is that from? Is that you? Nope. That's you, huh? Let's clean that up real quick. So on one of these layers, ambient shadow, huh? Now one of the tricks to kind of working with this thing is dealing with moving around. It's the kind of the hard part for me about Blender is just kind of getting used to moving stuff around. So now I'm going to move here. This is the cursor. And that's where I'm going to Shift A. I'm going to add in a new, where is it at? Grease pencil. There you go. Empty. Oh, that's perfect. And go into draw mode. I'll put on it. Alright, draw mode. Got our layer. We need to add in materials. I think in this case we just need a new one. We're going to use this one. Fog. Not flog, fog. Definitely keep it in stroke. Move that up to, say, whitish, bluish. Rename that fog blue. And then it's not the color we picked. It's pinned. Why are you always pinned? There we go. Now we got a little fog in there, and then maybe we can change. See what the layer effects do here. Hard light? Nope. Add? Maybe that works a little better. Alright, that's a little bit of atmosphere in there. I think technically speaking what I can do is put that cursor back here, and then when I go to draw it should be back there, which is good, except I want to be further up. Now we can put this fog back there. Nope, too thick. I'll push that back just a little bit more. Move to the wrong spot. This is my only complaint about Blender, just kind of moving stuff around. What's that? Alright, edit, and now let's get everybody unlocked here, see where that's coming from. There we go. G, Y, and back. There we go. Alright, so I like that one material. Let's go ahead and back in object mode, grab you, draw, One of my complaints about this is kind of the, not you, how difficult it would be to add in, there we go, materials like this. Except I don't want to do that one, I want to add in, or replace that one, I want to add in this one. And we need shadow, airbrush. And then stick it above you. Come on, grab it. Shadow. Alright, now we can paint that in. Then we turn to multiply. Where is it? Alright, why are we making a mark here, everybody? Make up there. Making it there. Just delete that one, add in a new one. It's adding it down there. Right there. Very weird. Making it up there. Is there some kind of mask on this or something? Alright, who are you? Looks like it's something to do with that fog. Alright, where's that fog layer at? That's why it's outside of there. Alright, now let's try. Why are we in sculpt mode? I'm very confused all of a sudden. It's not letting me out. It's all grayed out. That is so weird. Alright, how about we just, there we go. Object mode. Oof. What is up with that? Alright, now it's working. that's what my lack of experience will sometimes get me into trouble. So suddenly I'll change something by accident. And not realize it. And I don't know it. It's too late. So, you know, never fun when I'm trying to like figure out what's going on all of a sudden. It's just like, what is it doing all of a sudden? And I don't know why it's doing that thing that it's doing. Alright. Problem figured out. So let's hide that. Yeah, middle ground. Just so I know where I'm hitting stuff. Oh, that's what's going on. It's way back there. I want that back there. Alright, let's move this forward. Tab. That's why I was having trouble. Alright, who's that? Alright. Start that over again because it was in the wrong spot. Add. Nothing like and multiply. back here. Oof. You have select. Anything else floating around outside? Excuse me. Oof. Alright, there's that layer at. Let's get those shadow edges on there that I wanted. Whew. spot too. Interesting. Let's get rid of that first. Should be right about there. Alright, that feels pretty good. Yeah, suddenly drawing all over the wrong places. That's the only trouble here, you know, is it's anything else floating around I should be worried about. Okay there, Bosch? Okay, so that. Alright, back to music it is. Alright, middle ground. Let's get these shadows cleaned up. I should make a textured brush or something, huh? That. Too many layers open there. Alright. What I'm trying to do is just kind of lock in a little bit of a process here. So try to keep it simple, straight on view, and then yeah, just kind of keep it relatively simple, and then add in a few things as I go, and that way hopefully get a successful result. Like, this actually looks like I need a little detail over there. Use a little detail in there. I don't want to be drawing on the shadow layer. Draw the ambient shadow layer. That way, make sure everything reads pretty well. Alright, so that could use a little bit of line work. So switch back to our, not marker, brown ink. There we go. I do want you. Brown ink. There we go. Yeah, so the app definitely works, differently than, say, Photoshop, which definitely adds, certain kinds of challenges to it. So if I'm not used to that, let's see, erase, brush, and then let's change the material to flats. Not dark gray, we want dark gray. We're just on the wrong layer. Click on the wrong layer, there we go, flats. So I'm trying to keep myself out of trouble. Alright, who's floating around there? It's like a foreground thing. Alright, who did we lose track of here? Or did I move somebody else? Object mode. Who's this? Why do we got stuff in the foreground like that? And alright, let's see. Object mode, draw mode, no, edit mode. And let's hide everybody else. What are these guys doing up here? Gee, highway. Back. These are supposed to be like right there. everybody. Who are you? Alright, object. Yeah, just fighting the cursor, I think, is the problem here. Alright. Alright, is that everybody now? Alright. So I want to go back midground. I want to turn on the rough, foreground, and turn on the rough. And then this guy's going to kind of be there, but I think we want to put in some of these other elements next. So I made a cube to serve as a guide. So what I want to do is, I think you have all of the materials, right? Or most of them, or who has the most materials? You have the most. So let's go ahead and duplicate you, and then complete all the layers out and start over. So it's felt like that was a good strategy. So why is your stuff way up there? You know, tab. Edit. Alright, we got everybody. Nope, we did not. Where is that stuff coming from? Is it locked? I think it's locked. That's probably the rough layer. Edit, not vertex paint, edit. Wasn't there. Just turning myself into knots here. It was easier the other day, not you. Tab, there. So, object, select, edit. There we go. There we go. Now everybody's all by themselves. Alright, now Shift D, G, Y, and back. And now if I go in, I can delete all these layers. And delete the roughs. And that way when I go into you, hide the rough. Yeah, so just trying to give myself a headache here. Don't mind me. Still nowhere near here. We'll use you. Alright. I want to use this building as a guide. building here. Gonna do a secondary rough over that. Just you though, alright, so can leave the little bro alone. The comp layer. And use you maybe? Nope. Let's see, let's grab a good material. Like brown ink. There we go. How about we look at you real quick? I don't think we need. Okay, you're not on. Interesting. If I grab this one and grab this one, if I grab you and you, can I haven't tried this before, is this something new? Copy layer to selected. Can I push that back? Well, it crashed Blender. So we'll see what I lost. But not too much. Looks like I lost some. Alright. Yep, I lost a bunch. Alright, let's get rid of that. And then, yeah, I lost a bunch. That's sad. Alright, so should have saved before trying something new, right? That's always the lesson here. Let's go ahead and push it forward. Worry about details layer. And edit. Alright, you're fine, except for that. No. Alright, we'll come back to that other treatment later. But I think for now, let's go ahead and move that back. And then we can go ahead and delete all those. Let's go ahead and double that up anyway. So Shift D, G, Y, Y. And then in this one, go ahead and delete these layers. Except for that one. Oh, we'll just leave that guy in there. Mostly. buddy. So we shall name you Bro. Mid Bro. And then that one is behind you. Delete that out, not you. Mid Bro's fine. Make sure he stays in there. Arc, and this one architecture, not arch, architecture. And this one will be stairs. And that one will be arch. Hope I don't drive myself crazy. So now we want this one, and we want this one turned on. Something like that. And then we go back into the foreground. Save this before I do anything stupid. Turn that on. So on this one, let's go ahead and zero this stuff out. And save. And let's see if it'll copy layer to selected. Nope, crashed it again. Alright, answers that question. But this time nothing was lost. Alright, so now we've got that one up there. So we'll just jump into you. You. I kind of see why that Deduge guy does everything of the same colors. You know. And then, for whatever reason, post-processing is turned on and like it messes with everything. Same with the spacing. That's much better. And then let's change our material to ink. Alright. Source tab, object, cursor, it's going to be back to there. Edit, let's grab everybody here. Why is it bouncing around like crazy? Alright, I think I finally settled into things, hopefully, right? Do I teach Blender? I do not. Sorry about that. Just saw you there. Looks like we got a someone to block up there. Sorry about that. Mercury and SJ have been trying to fix problems I broke and then get back to where I was. I have not taught Blender. Wouldn't mind, teaching like the grease pencil thing. I think I'm more or less kind of ready to do something like that. But we'll see. I'd like to finish some more things with it, but so I'm trying to work out kind of a method that works for me with grease pencil. Just kind of planning ahead and kind of seeing how things fit, and that always takes some time. Primarily I teach at my university, where I teach concept drawing and a number of other things that I've taught over the years. I like to say I pretty much taught everything that doesn't move. So, that's my little addendum there. So, oil painting and digital painting and concept art and perspective and figure drawing and anatomy and color theory and portrait painting and so many things. But I taught a little bit of ZBrush once upon a time. Yeah, it's called Grease Pencil. There's a lot of information about it out there. For me, really the hardest part is just kind of dealing with where things are at in the 3D space, and especially this little guy right here, the cursor. That guy is no end of trouble for me. So sometimes I end up drawing stuff in the wrong place because I accidentally put it in the wrong spot, and I think that's my fault, but feels like it should be their fault. I'm trying to treat this kind of as a kind of orthographic view, so I'm not going to be looking at the top and bottom of things. But yeah, I'm just trying to find like a good method for setting this up, and then when I'm done, I want to have a little bit of like camera movement to it. So like this is the camera view right now, but I think if I kind of get into a certain point where, which I really like this add-on right here that turns on. See, am I not in render mode? That explains what's going on here. But it kind of turns on some compositing effects, and it's a relatively inexpensive plugin that allows you to do some compositing. So it gets the some of these effects going in here. And but yeah, Grease Pencil is very popular. There is pretty good amount of information about there. They did change some things recently, but again, for me, the struggle is just kind of dealing with methodology with it. Like one of my favorite people, let me pull up one of these chat windows, I'll just type his name in here. Dedouge. I really like that guy's this French grease pencil guy, and he has a very particular like color palette that he uses. It's like purple and yellow and blue. I think he's just reusing materials, but to make his life a little bit easier. But and he does a lot more animation and stuff like that. But I have to recommend checking out what he does. He's French, so you gotta watch that accent a little bit, if you're not accustomed to that one. But there's a few other users out there that I think are really helpful. But it's taking use. So again, for me, you gotta learn to use Blender, right, a little bit. So if you haven't done something, say like the famous donut tutorial, I'd recommend doing that one. And and that's very, very helpful. To learn, a lot of the essential aspects. So I guess I can hide that cube now. There we go. And that'll kind of get you kind of familiar with a lot of the tools in Blender. So if you're not familiar with them, it'll show you how to manipulate the space and model and do some rendering and other things that are really helpful. It took me a little while to get through it just because I'm not as familiar with this program as I have been with others, and it has its own challenges. But that's a really, really good tutorial. I think it's Andrew Price that does it. He calls him, it's a Blender Guru, I think is his YouTube handle. But yeah, for me, it's just kind of finding a process that lets me kind of work my way through this and not get too frustrated. Maybe just a little bit, but not too annoyed. I did lose a bunch of stuff though. I crashed it by accident, but maybe that's my fault. Probably my fault. Let's see if this has gotten here yet. Nope, not yet. Let's see how far along it might be. Nope, nowhere near here, I guess. Alright, so now let's get some lines on here that are good. Switch to this brush. And make sure we're using the proper tone. Change that to light is fine. We want to change this layer to multiply. Yeah, it's fun to work with though. Once you kind of get it down, it's way more enjoyable. Like anything, right? But it does come with little headaches. I decided to kind of switch over this. I was using some Mental Canvas, which is an iPad app, and kept getting annoyed by kind of certain interface things they did, and I was kind of like, it's not really worth fighting their interface. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn off foreground object. Don't want to hit our object. Select view. And turn off the rough because I don't need it anymore. There we go, that cleans things up. Hopefully I didn't move that too. I did move it. Alright, cursor goes there. Let's just go object. And then let's see, cursor to selected. There we go. Let's just go back to object. Make sure it's not on cursor mode. Select is on, right? Draw. And then we've got ourselves someone else to block on there. in draw mode. Perfect. Knock that rough back, I think, a little bit more. Yeah, look up Deduge and come back and tell me what you think. What he does. He's got some really nice lectures. I think he might have some French content, but he definitely has a certain kind of flavor. Not, doesn't match kind of anything really I do, but he's got some really good information on how he uses the program and some thoughts on it. But if you're not familiar with Blender, it can be a little bit confusing. So, something to keep in mind, I guess. So yeah. I feel like I finally settled in. Just save it before I give myself a heart attack, right? nice things about this program is you can literally just kind of move stuff around. That's right, the shift key holds for the smooth operation there. Forgot about that. Forget about that. That's the problem with these complicated programs like this, is I'm always forgetting that there's a million things that you can do. If I want to draw a long straight line, hold down shift and then draw, I get my little string there to pull me along. Which, you know, it shouldn't be that hard to remember, but you know, that's me. There is a straight line tool, but I don't like using it because it loses all of its line variation. And so, you know, I'd rather just hand draw it, but I don't mind that kind of, you know, dragging and pulling with it. Got anybody hanging out in the rooms that I'm not aware of? Don't hesitate to speak up. I don't mind talking while working, but I just run into the thing where if, you know, kind of people pop in and out, it makes it hard for me to know what to say. challenges of dealing with this specific program is the kind of the materials and the palette you're working with. So you can draw with like other colors and with a color picker, but there are certain advantages to working with the materials palette. At least I think there are. One is the fill brush, which I think was one of the big ones I noticed. You can't do a stroke and fill with the other color things. I haven't been able to make it do it. You know, maybe there's a way of doing it. I'm just, you know, ignorant. Which, you know, certainly happened many times before. But so, but that's you know, my problem, I guess. Good evening, people popping in. Don't hesitate to say hello. Even in your native tongue. Just working here in Blender. Working on a little grease pencil project. Kind of an environment space here. There we go. I think that's the problem. It's bumping into that interface thing there. So why is it not making the mark? Hmm. 9 o'clock, huh? How to explain why my dog came up here to pester me. Let's see what I got here. Good evening, people popping in. Good evening, people popping in. Toasty. Cancel. Cancel. Save. Did not want to crash it, that's for sure. so. Rather than draw all that down there. Somebody's dreaming down there. I always like it when my dog starts dreaming. Little wolves and barks and chirps. Sounds like he's having a very good time when he does that. Ooh, the lights just went out in here. Must be getting to be 9:30. You get to a certain time every day. Have that grid up there. Good evening, everybody popping in. Yeah, it got dark in here all of a sudden, huh? Probably easy for you to see though. If I had to guess. anytime I feel like I get a reminder I should save, I will save. I should check this. I guess I'll have to stay on there. I'll have to do this later. So I get for not logging in there for a bit. I'm working in Blender. So this is a part of Blender though called Grease Pencil, and basically lets you draw with vectors in 3D. So I can change it to this point of view. It's dramatic, right? So I'm working on the kind of background there, but I also have this. Excuse me, sorry about that. This compositing tool here lets me kind of add on some compositing effects. Well, I think it's kind of fun, right? I did want to change the camera arrangement just so it works better as a story thing, right? Or a what's it called? The reels. So let's change this to 1920. That way when I go into camera mode, that's what I got. And maybe I can pull that camera back a little bit. Yeah, of course, my pleasure. Yeah, if you've never used this program, definitely recommend it. I still got our camera selected, G and X. Cancel. G. Looks like I got to select in here. Nope, not you. Camera. Oh, it's not visible. Here we go. There you go. G and X. How about I go with Y? This looks like to do it manually. There we go. Hit it twice. There we go. Trying to pull it back a little bit more. G, Y, Y. Pull it down like that-ish. There we go. Alright, let's go back into that. We got 20 more minutes before I'm going to stop here, but this is a particular kind of perspective I like to draw with too. It's a kind of an isometric 2-point. I like to think of it as a long lens style illustration. The idea is that you kind of remove your view of the top of things, so it's kind of a hyper zoomed in feeling. It's not in the way. And then let's bring back my reference here. let me know if you have any questions there. Yeah, it's pretty. It's not that hard to learn. The harder part actually is just learning to kind of maneuver around Blender. But if you look up Grease Pencil, there's a ton of tutorials on YouTube on how to use it, and I think it's a pretty nice tool to use. I kind of got back to it because I was playing around with Mental Canvas, which is an interesting app on the iPad, but it's just really frustrating to use because they haven't really developed it in a long time. Which, kind of bothers me to a certain degree. And it's kind of an expensive one too, so. So I was kind of annoyed with that, and then I was trying to use it, and it was like, it's okay to use, but if I can set this up properly, I think I can be able to do most of what I do over there and here, and certainly more. I was thinking about doing the infinite zoom thing, but I don't think I need to do that. Turn that off. Don't need that on all the time. Yeah, I'll probably be on here for another 15 minutes or so. I need to get ready to go to sleep and figure out what's going on with my classes tomorrow. Sounds like my dog woke up. What section of this piece? Well, I've got to color everything in. There's also a whole background. You can't see right now. I roughed it in the foreground, so it's not visible. But there's gonna be more stuff kind of right over here. So, there's a bunch left to do on this, but thought it would be a good evening project to work on. It was something I wanted to get kind of back to. I need some more more foreground thing right here, maybe kind of cover up some of this, or zoom back in a little bit. But I need enough kind of going outside of the picture frame so that it, when I set up the camera, I have the camera kind of move around a little bit, so it feels more 3D. Because it is 3D, right? So that's kind of it makes it interesting. Where we go? Come back here. So yeah, just kind of working on the different areas. Been painting some stuff in the background, middle ground here, and then started working on this building tonight. But hopefully we'll be back tomorrow and the rest of the week to try to kind of work on this some more. Yeah, I gotta put the flats in there and color it, and a bunch of stuff left. So I think there's some kind of like sculptural element back here. So that's kind of the plan at the moment. Hopefully, I'll bring it to a finish and it won't suck. That would be nice. Done one before. Let's see, bring it up here. So I did this like a couple of years ago as a test. But it's nothing that exciting, but it was just kind of a test I did to see what I could do with it. We kind of blur out the background. I've got these other shapes that are, the cloud shapes that got some noise on them and things like that. But that was a little test I did a couple of years ago. But I really should, do more of them. Probably do a few of these. I'd like to at least. In addition to other things I kind of got going on, but I had a bunch of thoughts, so I wanted to jump back into this little project here. Let's see, I might be able to, I think I want to get this kind of large. Kind of tree thing here. So, but yeah, that's what I got kind of going on here. So I wonder, maybe there's like a nice little statuary or something I can stick up there. Let's see, how tall would be a person? Alright, so about this tall. Good evening, people popping in. Wrong spot. Nope, wrong spot. That's in the front. That's where the trick is with everything. Don't forget to save. Alright, how's it look when I turn off the rough layer? That looks pretty good. So let's clean up these lines a little bit. Let's give it a little extra oomph. And then oop line. The holding line, as the kids call it these days. Alright, I think that's going to be it for tonight. So this is where we're going to finish off. So I'm going to turn on that camera view. I like that view here with the lighting on there. I feel like that feels really good. This is kind of a fun view to do. To kind of come down here, look up at it. yeah, well, thanks everybody that came in. I appreciate it, and we'll talk at you next time. Make sure this is saved. And should be back in the morning for some morning study, so see you then.